So when the REO was first announced, one of the biggest questions was what engine is going to power this truck? And honestly, this might be one of the most important decisions REO has to make. For a new truck company, developing a brand new engine is not realistic. It would cost millions of dollars and take years of testing and certification. So the question becomes, what existing engine fits what REO is looking for? Well, listening to the Autopian podcast with the CEO of REO, doing some research of my own, and finding some interesting comments directly from the CEO on this channel, I think we've narrowed down the answer. And I think the answer might be the Ford 2.3 liter EcoBoost. Now, before we get into this, I want to be clear, REO has not officially announced the engine. This is not a confirmation, but the clues are starting to point in a very interesting direction. Let's start with what we actually know. On the Autopian podcast, the CEO of REO gave us some really interesting information about the engine. He said the engine will be a 4-cylinder. It will be between 2.0 and 2.5 liters. Turbocharged, already EPA certified, and available with both automatic and manual transmissions. The last part is the really biggest clue. Why? Because a company like REO doesn't have the money or resources to develop a completely new engine. They need something that already exists, something that already has gone through emissions testing, and then something that's already been proven. So I started looking at engines that fit these requirements. So let's make a checklist. The engine needs to be turbocharged inline 4, between 2.0 and 2.5 liters, already EPA certified, compatible with both manual and automatic transmissions, and ideally something that can be used in a truck. When you start looking through engines that match both those requirements, one engine really stands out. That's the Ford 2.3 liter EcoBoost. Now why? The 2.3 liter EcoBoost checks almost every box. It's a 2.3 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's already used in vehicles like the Ford Ranger and the Mustang. It's been around for years, and there's a huge amount of aftermarket support. And Ford already has experience pairing this engine with both manual and automatic transmissions. Again, this doesn't prove that this is going to be the engine, but it definitely makes it one of the most interesting possibilities. But I kept looking for information, and another clue came directly from the CEO of REO. On one of my videos, someone commented that REO would probably use a cheap Chinese engine. The CEO actually responded to that. He said, CEO here of REO. Can't do China due to tariff environment. If we could, we would, because our goal is price. And I think that comment tells us a lot. REO's goal is not to build the most expensive truck possible. Their goal is price. They're going to try to build an affordable truck. So the engine choice is probably not going to be finding the most powerful engine or an exotic engine. It's finding something that checks all the boxes. Affordable, reliable, available, already certified, and supported long term. And another interesting comment came up. Someone asked about using the Stellantis Pentastar V6. The CEO responded, we're going to stay away from the Pentastar. It's actually not that bad, but Stellantis is a no-go for us. Now, I want to be clear, this doesn't mean that Pentastar is a bad engine. The CEO had said it's not that bad, but it's eliminated as a possible another option. And it shows that REO isn't just grabbing whatever engine they can find. There are business decisions that have to be involved. Supplier relations, long-term support, cost, availability, and all these things matter when you're trying to build an entire vehicle. So let's put all the clues together. We know that REO wants a turbocharged 4-cylinder. We know that it needs to be between a 2.0 and 2.5 liter engine. We know that it needs to meet existing EPA certifications, and we know that an automatic and transmissions are part of the plan. And we know that they want to keep the cost down. And we know that they're avoiding certain options. So the Ford 2.3 liter EcoBoost fits that description very well. And honestly, if I'm starting a new truck company and trying to keep the cost under control, using a proven engine like this makes a lot of sense. You don't have to spend billions developing an engine. You don't have to start from scratch. You can focus your resources on building the truck itself. But I think the most interesting part is not the engine. It's the possibility that a new company could bring an existing proven engine and build the type of truck that people say that they miss. The old Ford Ranger, the Toyota pickup, the Nissan hardbody, simple trucks. Trucks that were tools first. And that's where REO becomes interesting, because Ford already has a proven demand for smaller trucks, like the Maverick. But REO appears to be going after the people who want something different. Someone who says, I like the idea of a small truck, but I want something more traditional. When REO first started talking about engines, I was hoping that they would use a Toyota engine. Toyota has an incredible reputation, especially when it comes to trucks. But after looking at all the clues, I actually think the Ford 2.3-liter EcoBoost makes a lot of sense. It's proven, it has the power people are expecting, it has support, and it fits what REO says that they're trying to accomplish. But again, until a REO officially announces the engine, this is just theory. So what do you think? Did we solve the REO engine mystery? Is the Ford 2.3-liter EcoBoost the engine that's been hiding behind all the clues? Or do you think REO is going to do something completely different? Let me know what you think. And if you follow along as this truck continues to develop, subscribe, because I think we're going to learn a lot more soon. Also, use my referral link down below to reserve you a truck today. And I'll see you next time.